morning, now 5 o'clock, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. What a cold start to our Halloween Friday.
It's very chilly this morning. We're in the 40s and 30s to start off the day, perhaps a little frost in some of those higher elevations. This afternoon, the rest of your first alert forecast, upper 50s and near 60. That comes with plenty of sunshine. Your trick or treating forecast remains in wonderful shape for us. A little bit cool. Maybe an extra layer needed or the jacket over top of the costume, at least briefly, as we stay in the 50s, eventually end up in the 40s.
That sounds like a spooktacular forecast. That's for you, Dan. Looks like President Trump's patience has maxed out over the federal government shutdown. He's now pressing Senate Republican leaders to make a big change and be done with it.
This morning, President Trump is calling on Republicans to change the rules in the Senate to reopen the government. Trump posting overnight, it is now time for the Republicans to play their Trump card and go for what is called the nuclear option. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now. The move would allow Republicans to pass a bill to fund the government with a simple majority instead of the 60 votes currently needed.
That's ABC's Nicole D'Antonio. Now, Senate Majority Leader John Thune has warned against getting rid of that filibuster, arguing it could harm Republicans if Democrats regain the majority. Governor Bill Lee's office has established a website to help Tennesseans whose SNAP benefits run out tomorrow. If the government shutdown does continue, it's feedtn.org. That's where you'll get help finding food banks near you. 10,000 Nashville families rely on energy assistance programs every year to heat their homes. But if the government shutdown doesn't end by Saturday, that money is not going to be there. This is Lisa McCready-Beverly at the Metro Action Commission talking to Channel 4.
It wasn't ever designed to be a crisis program, but it was designed to be a program that helps you to maintain your home safely and to make sure that it's cooled and heated properly. And so when funds are not existing, when we heard that we are not getting the allotment that we were expecting beginning Monday, that is concerning to us.
And she says the utility payment assistance will be limited to crisis cases only, and emergency programs like rent, mortgage, and prescription aid may be scaled back. Market numbers now brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com.
Despite news of a one-year pause for many tariffs between U.S. and China, stocks still took a tumble Thursday after major tech companies Meta and Microsoft worried investors on their spending outlooks after raising their forecasted budgets. The Dow closed 110 points down, the Nasdaq down 377, the S&P losing 68 points. The average rate on a 30-year U.S. mortgage has fallen for a fourth straight week from 6.19% to 6.17%. Its lowest in over a year, according to mortgage buyers Freddie Mac.
Dow futures right now are up 11 points. NASDAQ futures gaining 307. The S&P futures are up 46 points. That's the latest news. We've got traffic next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. All right, no big problems this morning on the major roadways heading in. Some people are having issues with fog this morning. I ran into some. Also at 24, they may have picked up the construction cones on 24 westbound that started around the Old Hickory Boulevard area. If not, you're going to be stuck in that lovely line of traffic that goes down to one lane as you come in. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Okay. All right, Joan, I've been triggered by Sam not 2 seconds into the radio broadcast. So, happy Halloween, everyone. It is Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Very quickly, so yesterday we talked about whether or not Sam would be wearing his... Remind me, Sam, it was a onesie that you were threatening to wear?
A Batman onesie.
A Batman onesie that you were threatening to wear.
Complete with butt flap and cape.
Which can, to be honest with you, the butt flap can come in handy. But
absolutely.
Moving right along from there. You chose not to, though, but you are wearing some sort of a... So he's got okay, so that is a bag. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, I'll describe it for you on the radio. He's got a bag over his head with a Titans logo on it, which means that what? Titan fans are embarrassed to be Titan fans? Is that what it is?
It's the scariest team to watch in football.
In that they suck so bad?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Because can I be honest with you? If I'm playing the Titans and I'm an NFL team, I'm not scared of the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan, I'm scared for them when they take the field.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that they're asking for the PSLs, the personal seat licenses, how much was it again?
There was one instance where a $750 PSL was costing $10,000.
Thank you, $10,000. All right, so you're not gonna keep that bag over your head the entire program. I hope not, anyway.
Maybe.
Although, can I be honest with you, Joan? It's actually he looks better with the bag over his head.
I knew you were gonna go there.
Coming through the screen.
If you want more detail, it's because of the 2025 Titans. I'm wearing a 25 jersey.
Got it. Okay, he's wearing a 2025 Titans jersey as well, but it's not a onesie. Nope. And that is important to everyone involved. Now,
especially me behind him. Okay,
now, Chad Benson, yesterday, very quickly.
That?
Chad, I guess yesterday he was in complete clown attire.
It was creepy clown attire.
Which, I mean, to be honest with you, that kind of tracks for Chad Benson. Totally kidding. Totally kidding. We all love Chad. I would actually say that about Murphy or Chris or me. I just, it's an easy joke. It's an easy layup. But I don't know why Chad did it yesterday. Isn't today like Halloween?
He also wore like a shark hoodie or something the day before. People were talking about it.
Chad has way too much fun.
Yeah.
Sure. Because we have no fun here on Nashville's Morning News, do we, Joan?
I gave you a spooktacular this morning.
Did you
notice? Yeah. Oh, you didn't hear. All right. You weren't listening to the news.
No, I wasn't. What did you...
I just did Stefano's forecast and...
Now, did he incorporate spooktacular into his...
No, not this morning.
Okay.
He did some other crazy, scary references.
Mine's also complete with a hand puppet.
You got a hand puppet?
It says we suck on it.
Very good. Very good. All right, so at least one of us got into the Halloween spirit, Joan. Joan, I did not listen to your entire newscast.
Yeah.
Did you mention the get dark time? What time does it get dark today?
Sunset.
That's what otherwise known as sunset. Regular people say sunset. I say, what's the get dark time?
That's true, because normally you're in bed by like 4:30.
Yeah. So the get dark time is 5:55.
Time is... did you look this up already?
Of course I looked it up for Nashville. The get dark time.
What time do you have?
5:55.
I have 5:52.
Ooh.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
And if I've learned anything in broadcasting, 3 minutes means a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it does, actually. So, well, you know what? Heaven help us try to get Stefano DiPietro on again after yesterday. I don't think that he's going to come back on like ever.
I think he will.
He probably got a phone call, was like, Stefano, you got to quit talking to that man to see.
Yeah.
I think Stefano had fun.
Do you?
I do.
Do you? Okay, very good. Very good.
Because we texted back and forth after.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What did he say about me? What did Stefano say about me? Did he say, you know what? Asking him if he was part of the mafia family in Pennsylvania probably went a little too far, which is what I did ask Stefano DiPietro because he's of Italian descent.
I think he...
You know those Italians.
Right.
They like pizza.
So I think he's probably been asked about it once or twice.
Oh, really? Do you know why I asked him that? I don't know why. I never watched The Sopranos. But for whatever reason, on my YouTube feed, suddenly I'm getting all of these Sopranos videos where people are getting whacked.
Oh.
And I don't know why that is. I never watched The Sopranos, and then suddenly all these like highlight videos from The Sopranos where mafioso guys are getting whacked. I don't understand why.
Did it happen after yesterday's conversation, or was it happening
No,
before?
it's the last few days, which is why the mafia is on my mind.
How much research were you doing on that gambling ring? I think that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Fed the algorithm somehow.
Do you know when I do a do you know my next job when I have to resort to being like a nighttime DJ on the top 40 station? Do you know what my DJ name is going to be? Algorithm. Thank you.
Oh, boy.
Hey, it's a Halloween miracle, Joan. My cable TV is working in here.
That's not... Oh, wow. How about that?
Oh, it's HD in here as well.
Yes, indeed.
So I did... I kind of...
Did you scare the cable guy?
Did you rattle some cages, Joan?
I scared the engineers.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not
Okay.
hard to
What
do.
did you say?
I dragged him in. I said, look at what we have to deal with.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay, that...
And he fixed it.
We're never going to get to content
I
clearly.
know.
So that explains, though, the P-Issy text message that I got back from engineering myself.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry.
Because I sent them a video of what my cable TV looked like yesterday.
Good. I'm glad you did.
So
Just
I send them a
reinforced.
video. You haul them into the newsroom.
Yeah.
And apparently Sam sent them an email as well. So
and voila, we got things fixed. Now, sometimes it takes a big rattle,
yeah,
to get things moving.
it does.
So, yeah.
It does,
I had some other issues in here that I needed to fix up.
Okay.
So,
Is the monitor still held up by a phone book?
No, we actually got an arm, like an arm to hold it up, to hold the monitor up. So,
Ken Weaver was dealing with that for years.
For years.
He would joke about, is there any money in the budget, Brother Dan, for a monitor holder thingy? Because my thing is being held up by a phone book. And sure enough, finally, they were able to get one.
There was actually there was a phone book and there was a tissue box in there, too, holding it up. It was an empty tissue box. Perfectly safe. Yeah.
That's when they took the PD thing away from me. That's where my cut salary went to get moving right along. All right, it is 5:15, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, did you hear what Jake Tapper said? Because the Democrats are absolutely freaking out over what Jake Tapper said. And Republicans are really grasping onto this as well. We are going to do that, what Jake Tapper said, that is freaking out both sides of the aisle, is coming up on Super Talk 99.7. It is 5:15. Time to check the roads.
Well, lucky for us, nothing's really happening this morning on the roads. 24 looks good. 65, no problems. I don't see any issues on 40 either. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. As far as your weather for today, plenty of sunshine, dress warmly for trick-or-treating, a high of 60, feeling like 59, getting down into the lower 40s tonight. Similar weather throughout the weekend and a chance of showers on Saturday. Remember, your get dark time is anywhere between 5:52 and 5:55.
Sunset?
Otherwise known as sunset.
Okay.
Your get dark time. I don't know why I say these stupid things. Anyway, this is Jake Tapper, and they're talking about the future of politics and how, as Jake Tapper sees it, the younger generation, they're coming up as conservatives.
I think Gen Z is going to be a lot more conservative. I think that just from my experience knowing Gen Z kids, my kids and their friends and whatever, I sense a much more skepticism of, and I think it is a reaction to Gen Xers and millennials forcing on them progressive views in school. And I think that there's going to be some conservatives. This is my general impression.
Yeah.
I don't fight.
That was an early read. That was an early read of Gen Z and then a kind of a beta, but it may be what ends up happening.
But didn't,
right?
I mean, Trump did not win young voters as he constantly says he did. But
So Tapper clearly has to get in, a little bit of a jab, but he is right. Donald Trump did not completely win the younger generation. But what he did do was he got, and I've got the numbers, what Donald Trump did was he was able to convert a lot of these, younger generation voters, 18 to 24, 25, a lot more from his first term in office to his second term in office. He really did that. And I think that Jake Tapper is correct.
he did do better with them
That's right.
than other previous Republicans. And I just think that it's not just that he is reshaping and remaking politics and normalizing things that weren't normal 10 years ago. I also think it is a reaction to the failures of progressive movements to achieve what they wanted to achieve, whether it's Bernie Sanders, whether it's Black Lives Matter, whether it's Me Too. I think it's COVID. I think it's a lot of progressive politics being forced down their throats in school. I think there's a lot of stuff going on.
That's Jake Tapper. And I think that he's right. Now, remember Gen Z. Joan, do you remember which? Because I don't pay attention to this stuff. But can you, off the top of your mind, do you know who Gen Z is? Gen Z is the people born between 1997 and 2012.
Yeah.
That's who Gen Z is. Now, it's the first generation to be completely and totally immersed in the digital age. Now, here's why that's important. The reason why that's important, they, by the way, call them digital natives. The reason why that's important is because this is the first generation where they've gotten a lot of their news and information and all that from the internet. Remember, previous generations, the Democrats had really, honestly, mostly total control over the media. And so this is the first generation that I would say they've been completely red-pilled by what they're seeing on the internet. And so when you talk about how, well, this is the digital age, the digital natives, well, this is the first generation where they're not being completely and totally manipulated by the Democrats and their hold on the mainstream media and CNN and MSNBC. Do you folks remember when we used to think that CNN was really a news channel where you could watch news 24/7? Do you remember? I see. I'm old enough to remember that. And I don't know, where did they change? Was it Trump when they really truly just made the change from an information channel, a news-driven 24/7 information channel to, really the propaganda machine of the left? I mean, that's what CNN is. And what makes CNN so sinister is that they pretend to be a news organization as opposed to just peddling Democrat talking points. So that's part of what's going on. But, with politicians, there is also talking about Donald Trump, and that's where Jake Tapper was going. Talking about Donald Trump. I think the younger generation, younger adults, there is this issue with authenticity, right? Because you look at the Chuck Schumers of the world, you look at some of the Hakeem Jeffries. I mean, I just name the Democrat, and a lot of Republicans too, where they lack authenticity. Donald Trump, for better or worse, and I think that is for the better, Donald Trump is absolutely authentic. And so I think at this point, people, the younger generation, it would appear, they are so much more aware of the authenticity of a politician. Trump is authentic. I believe that J.D. Vance is authentic, and that's why they got more of the younger vote last time around. So this was a big topic of conversation on Fox News. There is a guy named Alan Brusiewicz, and he was talking about the younger generation Republicans and why it is that they are becoming more and more conservative. And I did like what he had to say. Listen to this. Again, this was on Fox News.
I mean, that's something we've been talking about for a very long time.
Right. For someone who's always wrong, that's actually the correct observation. So it's fascinating that he's saying that, but he's totally right. Gen Z, I think, is going to be the most conservative generation for a number of reasons. I think President Trump is probably the key reason for that for the Republican Party. And there's some fake polls that say we're losing support with Gen Z. It's not happening. On the Team Trump TikTok account alone, since 2024 election, we have doubled in size. On our Instagram account, we have doubled in size. Over 70% of our followers on TikTok are under the age of 34. And so there's tremendous momentum with Gen Z. The president's policies that he's putting in place, they're helping bring job opportunities back. It's helping, end conflicts in the Middle East and global wars. And so
let me ask you this.
Yeah, that is Alex Brusiewicz, and he's right on all counts. Now, remember, Joe Biden had a 25-point margin over Donald Trump in 2020 amongst that younger voting bloc. Trump was able to cut that to roughly 4 to 13% margin in 2024 against Kamala Harris. So Biden had a 25-point margin. Kamala Harris, when she was running for president, she only had a 4 to 13% margin with that younger voting bloc. Now, Donald Trump did not win that voting bloc, but that is when you look at the fact that Trump, amongst the younger generation, amongst the black voters as well, Hispanic voters, he made inroads with all of those voting blocs. And that made a significant difference, especially in the battleground states. So that was huge. I've got a little bit more on this straight ahead. The super text line is open, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. One of the other big problems is that Democrats just aren't having babies as much as Republicans are. That's sort of like the Charlie Kirk influence, the young conservative influence. I love what J.D. Vance said the other day at that Turning Point USA event, what he said about conservatives, Republicans having children. We're going to get into all of that straight ahead. I also want to talk about something that has now come out of the Metro School Board. Joan, you know about this story?
Which story is it?
About the Metro School Board leader, the one that I simply cannot stand.
Yes, actually, yeah, I have it coming up in the news.
But do you really?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, this is a terrific story.
What's her name? What's her name again?
Oh, you don't remember her name?
I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
Dr. Adrienne Battle.
Dr. Adrienne Battle.
Yeah,
I keep trying to forget Dr. Adrienne Battle. She has now had a bathroom, like an office renovation, $165,000 so that she could have a new bathroom, a private bathroom in her office.
Yes, because there is a women's bathroom right outside the door of her offices.
Now,
she doesn't want to commingle.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. When you walk into a bathroom and you really got to go, if you know what I'm saying, it's a little awkward when other people are in there. But $165,000?
Yeah, to go along with her driver and her security guard.
Driver, security guard. This is
$80,000 raise in 2 years.
This is the same woman, by the way. This is the same woman who cost the school district, the Metro School District, what was it, $7 million?
$6.5 million for 5 teachers.
$6.5 million in settlements to 5 teachers who brought lawsuits against the district, and specifically Dr. Adrienne Battle. I remain utterly in disbelief and confused as to how it is that this board keeps kissing the arse of Dr. Adrienne Battle. She's got dirt. She's got photos of somebody doing something.
She's got to have something.
$165,000. I mean, is her commode like solid gold? I'm wondering. I mean, what cost $106? My bathroom, we had to redo our bathroom because we bought a fixer-upper. I think that thing was like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, something like that. I know Sam is Googling right now. How much is the average bathroom renovation? I mean, you would think that they're like tearing down an entire half of the building to put in her private bathroom.
So
Dr.
I just
Adrian
found
Battle.
a nice Kohler toilet on the Home Depot website.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the lowest cost one. $199.
The average cost of a bathroom remodel ranges from $6,600 to $17,600.
$165,000.
The average home price in the state of Kentucky is $220,000.
See, I need to know. Now I'm going to obsess over this. Clearly what happened, because I mean, I'm not completely adult, although some of you might disagree with that, but Joan. So clearly what they had to do was they had to like reroute some plumbing or something to get her own private bathroom. It would have been cheaper for her probably to change offices, honestly. You know what I mean? Like they had to reroute plumbing or do something to the building, but $165,000? I mean, gosh, they could have bought her own building for that amount of money.
Makes you question what she's having for lunch.
I bet you the other employees in the building are like, please give her own bathroom. Moving right along. It is 5:26 on where are we at? Joan, what's coming up in the news?
Oh, Dan.
See, I'm sorry. We're going to get back on. We started off the show on the wrong foot, and now we're just all discombobulated.
Okay, so we've got the bathroom story.
Yes.
Also, why you may not be able to watch Vandy football this weekend. Ha. Those stories coming up here at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning. It is now 5:31. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. In the low to mid 40s right now. We're headed to around 60 in the sunshine today. And then chilly tonight for trick-or-treating. Temps dropping through the 50s, and the low is 41 degrees overnight. The government shutdown is poised to enter the month of November, which means that the end of the SNAP benefits and a skipped paycheck for federal workers. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee has announced the launch of a website which Tennesseans can go to for help.
If you live in Tennessee, you can access feedtn.org to get help. The site offers a quick way to locate nearby food banks, donation centers, and volunteer opportunities. More than 300 community groups are working together to provide emergency assistance. And for additional help, call 211 or visit your local food bank online. Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Another questionable decision from one Metro school leader. Here's Channel 4's Lauren Lowry.
We've confirmed Dr. Adrienne Battle's office suite was remodeled for $165,000. It comes after the district had just paid out $6.5 million to settle a lawsuit against Battle brought by 5 former administrators. Now, as part of that remodel, a brand new personal bathroom was built for the superintendent.
Yeah, Channel 4 says there is a women's bathroom right outside of the superintendent's office.
Do you know what's funny, Joan? You can actually, I don't know who that anchor is.
Yeah.
You can actually hear the irritation in her voice.
Yes, you could. That's Lauren Lowry at Channel 4.
Gotta love her.
If you are trying to watch Vanderbilt football this weekend, you're not going to be able to see that game on YouTube TV. All of Disney's TV channels have been blacked out, including ABC and the entire ESPN family of networks, because they have this contract agreement that they cannot come to. Now, the Vandy, Texas game is set to kick off tomorrow at 11 a.m. on ABC. You can try using a TV antenna to pick up Channel 2 WKRN in Nashville. The Tennessean also suggests that you could try Fubo. It's got a 7-day free trial for new subscribers. Fubo has an unlimited ESPN bundle.
Could you do that one more time?
Fubo. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. But Sam is laughing hysterically.
I know, I can see him.
Like, is it Fubo?
It's Fubo.
Fubo.
F-U-B-O.
Do you have Fubo?
I don't have. I know what it is.
Yeah.
But what you said was Fubar.
I said Fubar. You know what that is, right? Okay.
Every day on this show. Every day.
Like this, for instance. That is the latest news. Traffic is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
This morning, plenty of sun this afternoon. We are near 60, really upper 50s to low 60s.
Looks like things are running pretty smoothly this morning if you're traveling on 24, 65, and 40. Watch for a little bit of fog in the western parts of the area this morning. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Is Thriller, is that what this is, Michael Jackson? All right, so Joan, Sam has been looking forward to playing Halloween bumper music since Easter.
Yes.
So I'm choosing to allow him to do this.
I encouraged him to do this.
Did you really?
Don't mind. Yes.
So just so people know behind the scenes, I hate bumper music. Like I hate bumper music. I don't think it matters. But for Sam, the excitement on his face, it looks like he just got like a full-size Three Musketeers.
What?
While trick-or-treating.
He's the kid here, right?
Yes, he is. By the way, so
he's young enough to be one of our kids.
Only 1 year removed from being Gen Z.
How old are you, Sam?
29.
Okay.
So, I have kids older than. Oh my gosh! Never mind. Go on.
No, he's right.
Yeah.
My daughter's 26. And
my oldest is 32.
Yeah, my older son is 27 and a half-ish. Yeah, 27 and a half-ish. So anyway, I'm reading more. First of all, I love this audience for so many reasons. We're joking about Adrian Battle's new bathroom.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out, okay, so I'm thinking that Adrian Battle has a solid gold toilet. And also, she has to have a solid gold bidet.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody know what a bidet is?
Yep.
And so all the plumbers are now chiming in about how they must have had, also like solid gold, 12-foot piping and all this kind of stuff. But, she got a new private bathroom. They also installed new walls, lights, ductwork, plumbing, carpeting for a new office, conference room, storage area, the whole thing. You know who got this story, by the way? Jeremy Finley. And I think it is clear that Jeremy Finley is the city's #1 investigative reporter. I think that is clear. Well done, Jeremy Finley. The superintendent defends the renovation as modest. But the thing is, they checked with wealthier school districts, and they do not have private bathrooms. Dr. Adrian, if you're just joining us, Dr. Adrian Battle, who is the superintendent for Metro Nashville Public Schools, very controversial. They approved $6.5 million in settled lawsuits against Dr. Adrian Battle and the district. No questions asked. And they won't answer any questions from the media.
Well, they don't talk to Sinclair, Dan.
And last time I checked, well, they don't talk to us either. Last time I checked, Nashville Public Schools still sucked. Their scores in Adrian Battle's new toilet.
Which, if it matches that sink, I think I may have found a similar toilet, but because they don't show it in any of the pictures. But to match that all-black sink setup is a $7,000 black toilet that would go with it.
Hey, can I ask a question? Do you think that, Joan, do you think that Dr. Adrian Battle's toilets, do you think they're low flow? I'm asking a question.
It could be.
She's a Democrat, right? So,
well, wouldn't she?
By Democrat ideals, she must have a low flow, low flush toilet.
Where you like? I don't know. In the Comcast building in Philadelphia, they have those toilets that they're dry.
Dry toilets?
Dry toilets.
What? How do you get the stuff to go down?
Is
it just air?
How does that work?
I don't know.
Well, Joan, did you ever go to the bathroom and well, how did it work? If you went to the bathroom in a dry toilet, what happens?
A dry toilet, which, unlike a flush toilet, does not use flush water. Dry toilets do not use water to move excreta along or block odors. It is such a thing. I mean,
so what happens?
Okay, so that's a
Internet search history is going to look Pretty interesting
I was
this
going to
morning.
say, man. So somebody explained to me a dry toilet. Anyway, they checked with other wealthier school districts.
Yeah.
And apparently, the other school districts don't have private bathrooms. The superintendents don't have private bathrooms. You've got Rutherford County Schools. They checked with Williamson County Schools, Rutherford County, and Wilson County to see if their superintendent had private bathrooms. Shocker. No.
No kings, but we'll do a 6-figure bathroom renovation for a superintendent.
You know what? The Metro Nashville Schools doesn't have a king, but they sure got a diva and a queen. I mean, that is what's going on. I mean, that's what she seems like to me, right, Doctor? I have gone on for probably far too long in my career over Dr. Adrian Battle. I think she's corrupt. And this whole thing just adds fuel to the fire.
I think 90% of the Metro Council and school board is corrupt as a whole.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, to be perfectly honest, I think, hey, Joan, when you were in Philadelphia, was the Philadelphia County School Board, do you think they were corrupt?
Chester County.
Chester County, were they corrupt?
Chester County where?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's not Philadelphia.
Oh, is that what's Philadelphia County?
Philadelphia.
Was it Philadelphia?
That's what it is, Philadelphia
You
County.
know, Joan is still trying to figure out the waterless toilets that she was talking about. She's like, what the heck was I trying to say with the waterless toilets? I don't even know.
Yeah, Philadelphia is in Philadelphia County.
All right, so in Philadelphia, I'd be willing to bet Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, same kind of stuff with the school board, right? All kinds of money going in.
Yeah.
Nobody knows where the money's going.
Philadelphia is corrupt to the core.
They always put in, more millions of dollars, and the score's still in the toilet.
Yep.
Washington, D.C., the same darn
Falling
thing.
down buildings.
We could talk about Memphis. I mean, yeah, Joan, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, the superintendent is defending the renovation as modest, actually. Battle told WSMV4 Investigates that the remodeling was designed to create a more functional and welcoming workspace. Well, for who? Because if there was, Joan, you said there is a women's bathroom right outside of her office.
That's what Lauren Lowry is reporting. Yeah.
So how is it more functional if I guess it's more functional for her because she doesn't have to walk an additional 20 steps to the,
It's not about function. It's about, making her the queen. She's the queen.
She's the queen. She is like the Beyonce of the Metro Nashville Schools District. That's what she is. And by the way,
she's the bee.
So- wait, no. Hold on. Go ahead, Joan. Finish that.
No, I can't.
Oh, come on, Joan.
Nope.
Joan just threw down that Adrian Battle is a bee.
Beyonce.
Good save, Joan. Go ahead. What you're saying, Sam?
I was just wanted to add that the graduation rate for 2024-2025 was 83.6%. The state average was 92.1%. And they were still behind Memphis at 84.4%.
Oh, my God.
Nashville is behind Memphis?
That's the graduation rate. But Google said it's competitive.
Like a race to the bottom, and who's the worst?
Yeah.
The two biggest school districts in the state, and they're both lower than the state average on graduation.
WSMV4 Investigates said, all due respect, I'm not sure if a lot of people would consider $165,000 as a modest remodel. Well, it absolutely is, she says. When you think about the capital budget that we have, again, it's over $100 million. I guess that's also could be part of the problem.
Is that why the $6.5 million payout was chump change, I guess?
You know what the funny thing is? Do you know, Joan, that you can actually buy a home in Clarksville for $165,000?
I bet you could.
Okay, we're trying to move my daughter into Tennessee. She's up in outside of Louisville. And you can actually buy a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home in Clarksville for $165,000-ish. In reviewing the floor plans and work orders for the remodel, WSMV4 Investigates found that there already exists a women's bathroom right outside of Battle's office suite. Why spend the money on replumbing and redesign when you literally have a bathroom right outside your office suite? Here's what she says. You ready? Now, I'm reading this for the first time. She says, there is a restroom in the same vicinity as my office that is used by hundreds of employees, which is fine. Queen Bee said. This is beyond just adding a restroom. I understand that seems to be the focus here, because it was your focus, Queen Bee. You know what? That's what we're going to start calling her. Joan.
Queen Bee.
We're going to start calling Dr. Adrian Battle Queen Bee, and we'll let you folks decide what the B stands for.
Yeah.
That's one expensive throne to sit on.
So she says, this is beyond just adding a restroom. I understand that seems to be the focus here, but it was also about the functionality of workspaces to make sure that we can maintain. Oh, my God. You're not going to believe the next 10 words.
Oh, no.
She says, but it was also about the functionality of workspaces to make sure that we can maintain high levels of work and outcomes for our district. This is coming from the district that is lower than Memphis in graduation rates. So can we talk about what Queen Bee is defining as high levels of outcomes for the district?
It might have meant high levels of output for her. Need that high flow toilet.
Sam.
I do want to know if it's low flow. Why am I obsessing over this stupid? Does anybody know? Hey, if anybody knows anybody who has access
Who works for NES or
yeah. Can you tell me if her
Metro
toilet
Water.
is low flow? She's a Democrat, and because those regular flow toilets.
What if that was her chief complaint about the public restroom?
It's low flow.
It's too low. I need more flow.
Well, don't we all? Hey, real quick, can we talk about, so we were talking very quickly about the Titans mask that you were wearing. So, Joan, did you read what was on very quickly? Because it's Halloween. Sam comes in, he's wearing a paper bag mask over his head. It's got a Titans logo on it.
Yes.
Speaking of in the toilet, he's got a Titans logo on it. And what does it say, Sam?
It says we ass.
Okay. We ASS. Now, I can't see it because of the paneling and all that. So
there's a glare.
Yeah, there's a glare. But do you know what that means, Joan?
No, I don't.
That is what Cameron Ward said about the Titans.
Yeah, after one of their losses at a press conference, he said, if we keep it a buck, meaning that if we're being honest, we arse. And then, like, the next day or something, Callahan critiqued him on that and was like, well, he's a rookie. He doesn't know what he's saying. It's like, no, you don't talk about your quarterback that way to the media.
Totally threw the quarterback, Cam Ward, under the bus.
Yeah, for being a transparent and honest leader, which is what you want in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of, I don't know if he's the team captain or not.
Yep,
but,
he's the captain.
All right, so the team captain is speaking the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's the coach's name again that got fired?
Callahan.
So if Coach Callahan is refusing or was refusing to acknowledge the painfully obvious fact to everyone in the United States who follows football that they are ASS, well, that's probably why he was fired. Now, here's the question. And Joan, you can perhaps relate to this, being a fan of the EGLESs. Should the Titans just go ahead and like just keep losing the way that they are so that they can have a first-round draft pick?
I mean, isn't that the theory of how it works?
They're probably going to
in the season.
If you have the worst record, you get the first draft pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're probably going to sell the farm. Any talented players they have remaining on expiring contracts are going to go bye-bye. We're going to see a bunch of guys trying to make the team and get a job next season. And to your point, probably get another number one overall pick who knows who will use it on. If we'll even use it properly. We might trade it away. We might do something stupid because we are
I'm reading the comments on the super text line. One guy says, Dan, where the hell can you buy a home in Clarksville for $165,000? I didn't say it'd be a nice home. But like in the outskirts of Clark, you could find a home in Clarksville.
Cunningham, Cumberland Furnace area.
Yes, it's exactly right. And again, I don't know how nice it would be.
Yeah, no.
But I think Clarksville.
Dan is not talking about down on Riverside Drive.
No, I'm not. Anyways. Should we wake up Jeremy Finley again?
Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy, can we talk about... I mean, we're not going to do that. Not 2 times in one. You know what? Can you imagine Jeremy Finley and Stefano DiPietro talking about, being on the air with me? And it's like, we're going to have to block them. That's what we're going to have to do. Joan was coming up in the news at 6.
Can a federal judge compel the Trump administration to move around funds so SNAP benefits can be paid for? We'll take a look at that coming up here at 6 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
sight, for my monster from his slab began.
There you go. It's an oldie but a goodie, Joan.
And suddenly, to my surprise,
I remember when this was a new song.
Nah.
No, I don't.
it was a graveyard smash.
Anyway, it is 5:58, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. So we are allowing Sam to play Halloween bumpers all morning long. He's been looking forward to this since like Easter. He wasn't even working with us at Easter time, but he knew that in his future, he was going to be working on this show and annoying the host with his Halloween bumper musics. By the way, the Get Start time today is 5:55 this evening. So that is what time you folks can dress up the kids and go out trick-or-treating, and it is going to be a lot of fun. Congressman Scott Desjardins is going to be joining us at 7:35 here on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Coming up, J.D. Vance is spooking the left. We've got that story for you. And you want to talk about something really scary if you're a Democrat? Joan, have you seen the commercial that Matt Van Epps has dropped like a nuclear frickin' bomb on Afton Bain?
To hear this. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna do that coming up right after the news. This has to be one of the greatest political commercials ever. And I've got it for you coming up next. It's Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 6 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. 41 degrees right now. We'll have some sunshine tonight, and Stefano has the forecast for
We're
us.
in the 60s this afternoon to the high elevation staying in the 50s. That will once again come with plenty of sunshine. And for your all-important trick-or-treating forecast this evening, ghoulishly cool has been the term I've been using all week long. By 8 o'clock in the evening, we'll start to fall closer to the 40s. Maybe you'll want a light jacket, but I'm not talking the big heavy coat for the kids as they're out and about this evening.
Yeah, good trick-or-treating weather there. SNAP benefits come to an end tomorrow, and now a judge is hearing arguments from several states demanding that emergency funds be used to keep the program going. But Republicans have argued it's not that easy.
The judge dismissing the administration's explanation, saying, "I want agency action, not lawyering. We're not going to make everyone drop dead." The judge could compel the administration to release the funds, but whether the Trump administration will comply remains to be seen. And even if it does, the emergency funding available would still fall short of the monthly SNAP payouts.
That's ABC's Nicole D'Antonio. Hearing loud explosions? Well, there's a reason for that. Here's Channel 4's Amanda Hara.
It's part of work on the Music City Loop project. There's going to be rolling roadblocks at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Rosa L. Parks Boulevard between Reverend Kelly Smith Way and Nelson Mary Street.
Now, we'll have the roadblocks there only lasting about 5 minutes. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com.
Stocks are coming off a lackluster session that found the major averages slipping into the red. The Dow Jones gave up 110 points to close Thursday at 47,522. The S&P fell 1%. The Nasdaq Composite closed down 1.5%. Days after Amazon announced plans to cut 14,000 white-collar positions, the retailer reported strong earnings in the latest quarter. Sales were up 13%, profits surged 39% compared to last year. The Fed may have just cut a key benchmark, but mortgage rates are going the other way. After Fed Chair Jerome Powell crushed hopes of another rate cut in December, the average 30-year home loan rose 0.2 and now sits at just over 6.3%. Thinking of renting a house for a Halloween party? Airbnb is on to you. The company is using AI to analyze bookings based on length of reservation, distance from the renter's home, and last-minute requests, and then blocking would-be partiers. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Stock futures are mixed this morning with the Dow futures down 8, NASDAQ futures up 311, and the S&P futures up 45 points. That's the latest news. We've got your traffic next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Okay, on 65 in the southbound lanes in Berry Hill, there's a crash at Armory Drive, exit 79, and it blocks off the left lane. It's a one-vehicle crash in Pleasant View on Old Clarksville Pike at Bluebird Drive. Also this morning, you've got a crash involving injuries in Nashville on Bell Road at Blue Hole Road. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.606 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Hope you are doing well, and happy Halloween to you, unless you're Joan and you think it's actually satanic. By the way, the Gets Dark time. By the way, the Gets Dark time today, 5:55 this evening. So that is when the sun will be setting. So you got to make sure the kids are all, costumed up and you got your bags and everything and ready to go.
Hey, you know what this weekend is also?
What's that?
We fall back this weekend.
Oh, do we really?
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, no. That's terrible. That is terrible for... No, it's not terrible for us.
Terrible. Nope.
We get an extra hour of sleep.
That's correct,
Okay,
Dan.
very good. Shut up, John. See, that's why I say Gets Dark time as opposed to sunrise versus sunset, because I always get confused. Speaking of confused, Afton Bain. So Matt Van Epps, right? Running for the 7th. It's Matt Van Epps versus Afton Bain. Everybody knows. So he drops this commercial. Have you seen this commercial yet, Joan?
No, I haven't, so I can't wait to see it.
So I'm watching it on, if you're watching on Super Talk TV, you'll see it. But for the radio, it's audio and video of Afton Bain when she was now infamously trolling and alerting, the hood about where ICE was. Listen to this.
I'm Matt Van Epps. I approved this message.
Meet woke liberal Afton Bain.
This is great. We've got our girl squad and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Afton Bain, so woke she thinks it's a win to harass police.
This is great. We've got our girl squad and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Woke liberal Afton Bain. When she wins, we lose.
Oh, absolutely brutal.
Oh,
do you know what?
Love the tagline.
Oh, yeah. You know what? If I ever actually get the cell phone number of Matt Van Epps, which I traditionally don't have the cell phone numbers of the politicians, but that would be my ringtone, is that commercial. Because, it's funny because we're talking about this yesterday, Joan, the preening of Afton Bain when all of this was going on. And, it's horrifying on a number of different fronts because, of course, we all know the threats that are going on right now against ICE officers. And so for her to do this, and I think one of the things that I would say is this really does personify the differences between Matt Van Epps and Afton Bain. And actually, he was on with Murphy Show after they aired the commercial during Matt Murphy's show. And this is what he had to say. Because some people are actually saying, and I don't understand this, but some people are saying that this is like a bullying ad or like a go negative ad. You're actually using her words.
Yeah, we've gotten some feedback that this was an attack ad, but I really don't think it's an attack ad. I think it's just shining the light on my opponent to draw the very clear distinction between someone who bullies police officers, brags about it on TikTok, and going against ICE, against federal agents doing their job, doing their mission, going against the Tennessee Highway Patrol. And I think that's it's disqualifying.
Yeah. See, here's the crazy thing, though, Joan and Sam, is that I believe that it should be disqualifying. But here's the thing. The left will embrace it.
Oh, yeah.
The left will embrace it as abhorrent. But see, this is the differences between the two parties now, is that the left, I could see Afton Bain using that same video and that same audio for one of her commercials.
Put some upbeat music behind it. Look what we're out here fighting, fascism.
That's exactly right. We're
Yeah,
fighting
Slay Queen.
We're fighting fascism. That's what she would say. And yeah, we did. We joked about this ad yesterday where she preening for the camera, proud of what she is doing. And so Matt Van Epps, of course, again, calling into the Murphy Show, he talks about where he stands and the difference between he and Afton Bain.
And when you compare that to where we stand, where I stand, and that's to back the blue. I have friends who are police officers. I have friends who are both current and former Tennessee Highway Patrol. And they are true public servants who are out there defending our way of life, defending our families, protecting us. And we will always stand with law enforcement, with military, with veterans, with businesses, with farmers. And we think the distinction here is very clear.
Oh, absolutely. Remember, we talked about this yesterday, what happened in Chicago. ICE is under attack. Fireworks are being fired their way. You've got the bullying, the pushing, the shoving, the yelling, the threatening, the doxing, the rock throwing, the vandalizing of the ICE van where you had the, what do they call it? The Latin Kings? I think that's what they're called. The Latin Kings spray painting their logo on the ICE van, the cutting of the tires, the slashing of the tires. I mean, the threats against ICE and law enforcement, we talked about this yesterday, the threats against ICE and law enforcement, generally speaking, up 1,000%. Up 1,000%. And you know what my question would be? I wonder how Fort Campbell folks, because, you know, they're in the 7th, I wonder how they would like the bullying of ICE agents, the bullying of law enforcement, which is what Afton Bain is so incredibly proud of. And so one of the things that I said yesterday is that there's some concerns about turnout for the 7th Congressional District for the general election. There are a lot of people running in that race. Candidate Van Epps told Murphy Show yesterday that most, if not all of his opponents, and this is what I love about conservatives, generally speaking, is that a lot of his opponents either were there in person or their teams showed up to a gathering, to literally, they actually called it a bury the hatchet kind of meeting.
Well, we got together for a happy hour, had a beer, and we called it the bury the hatchet meeting.
Yep.
We also bought a hatchet that everyone signed. And we thought we were going to be there for an hour. We were there for 3 hours. And it shows truly everyone coming together in the Republican Party, united behind us, because this is not about me. This is about our team. This is about fighting for the president. This is about fighting for what makes the Tennessee 7th Congressional District so great in our state and our country, and that's the mission we're on now.
Yeah, I think that says a lot about, you know, Jody Barrett, Lee Reeves, all the people that were running against Matt Van Epps, that everybody shows up for this bury the hatchet happy hour. And I think that also says a lot about Matt Van Epps, where, and this is the sign of a really good leader, right? Where I won and he won by a lot. And he invites everybody else to come in for a bury the hatchet happy hour. And then, like, again, all good leaders do, bury the hatchet, and let's all now work together to defeat our common enemy, which is Afton Bain and the Democrats. I love what he did. I think we all probably had some fun at the thought of Afton Bain and the Brain Trust, of Afton Brainless. I was going to say it. I let you have the line, though, because I knew you were going to do it too, Sam. Afton Bain and Jasmine Crockett doing a so-called town hall together, which isn't a town hall. It's actually it's a fundraiser, and it seems to be like they're not going to be taking questions like a town hall would typically be. So they're calling a fundraiser, at least it seems to me, a town hall, but whatever. But Van Epps talks about that, how that really personifies and punctuates the differences between Afton Bain and his campaign.
Crockett said that entering the country isn't a crime. She's made fun of Republicans who say fentanyl and the border are big issues. And it just is another example of the contrast here could not be more clear on what we stand for, what we'll fight for to protect our communities, small businesses, to decrease the cost of living, bring down inflation, support our businesses and farmers. And that's what we're going to be fighting for.
And you know what? Clearly worth fighting for. And this is just one of many headlines out there that I'm going to share with you. Can Democrats flip Tennessee's 7th congressional district? It's from the Tennessee Lookout. And we'll talk about that straight ahead. It is coming up on 6:15. Time to check the roads on WTN. As morning continues to unfold, it is 6:16 on Nashville's Morning News. As far as your weather goes today, plenty of sunshine. Dress warmly for trick-or-treating. A high of 60, going to feel like 59, getting down into the lower 40s tonight. You know what we need to know, Joan?
What's that?
What temperature will it be at the Gets Dark time of 5:55?
Dan, you mean at the time that the sun goes down, Dan?
Yeah, the Gets Dark time.
Okay. Well, so do you use the Weather Channel?
No.
They have the hourly.
No, you know what I use for my weather, Joan?
What do you use, Dan?
Joan Jones.
Oh, you use I see.
So find out what will the temperature be at 6 o'clock tonight?
56.
56? 56?
Yeah.
Okay.
Light
very good.
winds, 4 miles an hour. It'll be perfect.
It's going to be a great. It's going to be a great night for
one of our text listeners said that Stefano used the Spooktacular at 5:32 this morning.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Stefano.
Yeah, he loves it.
Is he giving me credit for giving him the idea? Because that happened yesterday during this radio broadcast. That's why, as I continuously update my resume, because I'm going to get fired any day, probably for bits like this. I said I'm going to add television copywriter to my resume.
That's right.
What I'm going to do.
Stefano uses your phraseology.
Which nobody has ever said ever that they want to use my phraseology as I talk about the Gets Dark time of 5:55 tonight. It is 6:18, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I think the Democrats, that they do see blood in the water regarding Tennessee's 7th congressional district. And there's all kinds of headlines out there. I think they're going to be putting some good money behind Afton Bain. And I'm going to tell you something. They're going to need some good money to try to defeat Matt Van Epps, because I think that he is a formidable candidate, and he is very good. And remember, he won overwhelmingly the primary, as I've mentioned many times now, so I don't need to get into the specifics anymore. That he won 51% of the vote. All the other candidates combined did not hit what he got. So I think that Afton Bain, who barely squeaked in, even the Tennessee Lookout is admitting that she barely won the primary for the Democrats. Coming up, by the way, at 6:35, it's going to be a last-minute scheduled hit, but Matthew Hurt is going to join us because there's a really interesting story out there today. We touched on it in the 5 o'clock hour, where Jake Tapper is now out there, and this is freaking out both sides. And can I just say, I don't exactly know why, but both sides are talking about how Jake Tapper said that the younger generation, Gen Z, they are coming out, turning out more conservative for a number of different reasons. Do you know who is right on the forefront of that battle for Gen Z politically? Obviously, Charlie Kirk was. Turning Point USA is. Chris Hand is. And also Matthew Hurt is. So we're going to talk to Matthew Hurt, and because he is involved in an organization that talks about how to bring about conservative leaders across America. So that is his full-time gig. And so we're going to talk to him about that. I really did like, though, what J.D. Vance said about having kids when he was speaking to Turning Point USA, that big Turning Point USA event that, we played some audio from that yesterday. It was a great event. And this is, let's see if I can manage to do this without completely obliterating the entire radio station. All right, this is J.D. Vance and what he said about having kids during and we got video for this, during his event the other day.
Have children. That's something Charlie also always told. I grew up in a generation. I'm 41 years old. I'm a millennial. And if you're being uncharitable, you would call me a geriatric millennial, which I really hate. I really hate being called a geriatric millennial. But here I am at 41 talking to all of you like I've got great wisdom. Here's the thing. The one regret, the only regret that I really have in my entire life, and I've made plenty of mistakes, but the one regret that I have is that, frankly, I wish we had started having kids sooner. Because when you're a young father, you realize what an incredible blessing they are, but they're also very exhausting. And I know here at Ole Miss, we like to party a lot. And I know at Ole Miss, occasionally some of you will have a few drinks on a Friday or Saturday, or hopefully not a Tuesday night, but I'm sure that happens from time to time here in SEC country.
Yep.
But here's the thing. When you go out until 3 in the morning and wake up at 6 a.m. for class, the thing that I've learned in my old age is that incredible energy, God actually meant it for another purpose, and that purpose was to help take care of a family. So while you're young, have those babies if you're able to. That's something Charlie said all the time.
Yep, J.D. Vance. What a great speech that was in front of Turning Point USA. And we played some of that audio. The audio is everywhere. But it is true. And we touched upon this in the 5 o'clock hour, where you did have the Donald Trump, 2024, was able to convert a lot of those younger voters, far more than he was able to do in 2020 and 2016. So Matthew Hurt is going to join us. But, when you think about everything that the younger generation has gone through, that this younger slate of voters, this younger block of voters, specifically 18 to 25 years old, which is where they are now, they were sold a bill of goods when it came to a college education and its value. They've seen the impact of rampant illegal immigration in our country and that impact on their job market as they get out of college. They had to grapple with Biden's economy, which obviously was awful. And they've seen all the crime going on in these major blue cities where a lot of them actually went to college. So I think that they've seen not only the authenticity of the Democrat Party, where, awful things happen when Democrats are in power. That's number one. So the struggle is real when it comes to Democrat rule. That's number one. And number two, they also saw the authenticity of Donald Trump. And that's also a big part of where the younger generation is going, is they like people to be authentic because that's what they see on social media. Think about this. So one of the things that they'll tell you is that, and I talked about this, where you've got the younger generation now, 18 to 25, their entire lives, basically, they've been immersed in the socials. And so they're living through these videos and they're watching all of these videos and they're watching all of these, all of these influencers. And authenticity is key. And so they're not beholden to the mainstream media like previous generations have. The mainstream media that traditionally has that control by the Democrats. The Democrats have always controlled the mainstream media. The 18 to 25-year-olds, they're not really into the mainstream media, right? Could you, 18 to 25, could you, if you went to talk to Joan, you think, or Sam, the average 18-year-old, do you think the average 18-year-old, if I said, hey, what channel locally is, NBC or CBS or Fox?
None.
They would have absolutely no clue.
I'm not even sure they would know what NBC is. You know, seriously.
What's NBC? Do they have?
Is that a nacho burrito combo, bro?
There you go.
There you go. All right, 6:25. Joan, what's coming up?
Scrapping the filibuster is on the line as the government shutdown drags on. We'll tell you the effort to do that, and it's being led by President Trump. It's coming up here at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 6:25, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. I know what's going to happen tonight because I know what I'm going to do. I'll be dipping into the kids' candy, and usually I'll have about, 2 or 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 miniatures on a Halloween night. And that's on a good Halloween when I'm actually behaving myself.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. So listen, if you're one of those people and you're going to wake up on November 1st and you're going to think, what the heck have I done? You've got to call my friends at Contours and get one of those belly buster specials for only $99. 615-236-9960. You call right now for Contours. You get that belly buster special for a remarkably low price, a spectacular price of just $99. First 10 callers right now. Shut up, John. Taking advantage of Contour's red light technology, it is not only incredibly unique, but also effective. That phone number, call them right now, 615-236-9960. People from all across Middle Tennessee have been coming out to check out Contours. And again, their cutting edge red light technology. Call them right now at 615-236-9960. If you're not exactly sure what this red light technology is, it is all the rage. I'm just telling you, check it out online. ContoursLLC.com. That's ContoursLLC.com, 615-236-9960. Contours, all you've got to lose is inches. Dan Mandis here, 627 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. News with Joan Jones is coming up just momentarily. Imagine if your Wi-Fi was a lot smarter. Just picture it. You've got your TV, your phone, your laptop, even your fancy fridge, working together to make life easier. Well, Xfinity makes that dream a reality. Devices so in sync that you'd think that they're telepathic. Really smart Wi-Fi that actually knows when your devices need a boost, for example. The best equipment to stream 4 games at once with multi-view. And Xfinity Mobile that gives you Wi-Fi where you need it and 5G everywhere else. That is the magic of Xfinity. I've been an Xfinity customer for years. It is seamlessly in tune with you. Xfinity, imagine that. Now, restrictions apply. To get started, call them 1-800-XFINITY. Find them online, xfinity.com, or drop into an Xfinity store today. Again, that phone number, 800-XFINITY, xfinity.com, or again, drop into an Xfinity store today.
Good morning, 6:30 now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. President Trump in an online post now urging Senate Republicans to scrap the filibuster. That's because it would allow Republicans in the Senate to pass a measure to reopen the federal government with a simple majority instead of the 60 votes that's needed right now.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune has warned against this move, saying it could come back to bite Republicans whenever Democrats take power back. Meanwhile, millions of Americans fear their food assistance or SNAP benefits will run out tomorrow as the government shutdown drags on.
ABC's Nicole D'Antonio. There is no quick fix for the ruptured water main on Chestnut Street that flooded that area this week. The water has receded, but the fix could take weeks. Not good news for the people living nearby. This woman spoke to Channel 4.
When I got the message from my property manager that it was being affected, that our building was being affected, I was truly distraught. Luckily, I weren't home to really get the effect on it, but I was really upset.
Yeah, but it looks like the water has been restored now to homes and businesses nearby. The daughter of a mid-state sheriff has been convicted of child abuse. Sarah Fusen worked at a daycare in Clarksville in 2023 when she was accused of abusing a toddler. Channel 4's Amanda Hera.
A doctor testified that the child suffered an injury to her skull. Video was also shown in court of Fusen shoving the child in a high chair, which left bruising on the child's arm.
Fusen will be sentenced in December. That is the latest news. We've got traffic and weather ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 632, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. Window Nation. I've got 4 of their windows in my home. This is a great company. Again, Window Nation. Going to get really cold in the next few months. You need windows that is going to keep the cold air out and the warm air in. Now, right now is a great time to call Window Nation. They've got a great deal going on right now. Take advantage of Window Nation's end of the year sale going on through November. You know what they're offering? This is a great deal. 50% off all window styles. That's right, 50% off all window styles, and you could get 0% interest financing for 5 years. Now, you know, with Window Nation, your job's going to be done in a day or less. They measure 3 times to ensure that your windows are going to fit perfectly and keep your home comfortable year-round. So don't forget, right now is the best time to call my friends at Window Nation. Replacement windows, this is a great upgrade to your home. Take advantage of Window Nation's end-of-the-year sale going on this month. You get 50% off all window styles, and you could get 0% interest financing for 5 years. You got to call them. 866-90-NATION is the phone number. 866-90-NATION. You can find them online anytime. Please, as always, tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. WindowNation.com.
got to watch it on 65 southbound in Goodlettsville. There's construction work at Long Hollow Pike. That's exit 97, and it's jammed up as you approach that site this morning. Bell Road in Nashville at Blue Hole Road. There's a crash involving injuries. Another one on Centennial Boulevard at Briley Parkway in Bordeaux. And out at the airport, Faircloth Lane at Old Murfreesboro Pike. Watch out there for a crash. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Six 6:37, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I've never heard this song before in my life.
You know, it's so funny. Sam said, should I play the Halloween bumper coming back? And I said, as long as it gets to the point right away. And neither one of us have heard that Michael Jackson song. By the way, apparently Joan at 1323 says, Dan, please quit sounding so whiny and childish today.
Oh, that's rude.
I thought that was part of my brand, whiny and childish. That like they had that on a promo at one point. So anyway, hey, Matthew Hurt is joining us on the Newsmaker Hotline. Matthew, always great to have you on. And listen, no whiny and childish behavior out of you this Halloween, sir.
Well, what's up, you big baby, Dan? It's great to be with you. That was for Joan Jones.
Maybe we should just get him a pacifier, a diaper. That's how we can go,
I've got some at home. Hey, so Matthew, let me ask you this just real quickly. So are you a full-size candy giver or a miniature? And what's your favorite Halloween candy? Have we asked this yet?
You have not asked me this. I live in a high-rise apartment, and of course, no friendly people live in high-rise apartments. I plan to be asleep by 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. It's an election weekend, but I do love Reese's Cups. So if I'm stealing candy out of bags tonight on the way home from work, I'll be pulling Reese's Cups out.
Good man.
All right, very good. Now I want to play for you and everyone listening. What Jake Tapper says that has both sides really excited. Listen to this.
I think Gen Z is going to be a lot more conservative. I think that just my experience knowing Gen Z kids, my kids and their friends and whatever, I sense a much more skepticism of, and I think it is a reaction to Gen Xers and millennials forcing on them progressive views in school. And I think that they're going to be some conservatives. This is my general impression.
Yeah,
I don't fight.
That was an early read. That was an early read of Gen Z, and then a kind of a beta. But it may be what ends up happening.
But didn't
right?
I mean Trump did not win young voters as he constantly says he did, but he did do better with them.
That's right.
Than other previous Republicans, and I just think that. It's not just that he is reshaping and remaking politics and normalizing things that weren't normal 10 years ago. I also think it is a reaction to the failures of progressive movements to achieve what they wanted to achieve, whether it's Bernie Sanders, whether it's Black Lives Matter, whether it's Me Too. I think it's COVID. I think it's a lot of progressive politics being forced down their throats in school. I think there's a lot of stuff going on.
All right, so that is Jake Tapper, and took a long way to get to the point. But what do you think? I mean, Matthew Hurt, you this is your lane. Your day job is trying to train future conservative leaders.
Well, yeah, Dan. So what Jake Tapper provided was an anecdote. He says, my kids are conservative, and I caution listeners, anecdotes are not data, but we do have data on it. The Center for Information and Research on Civic Learning and Engagement at Tufts had a poll out that said young voters were 9 percentage points more Republican in 2024 than they were in 2020. And though Joe Biden won young voters by 25 points, there's only a 4-point margin between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. And when you look into the crosstabs, and this is an important layer of the conversation, between 2020 and 2024, white men, young white men, became 11 points more Republican. Black men became 20 points more Republican. They swung from 11 percentage points to 31 percentage points, self-identifying as Republican. And there was a little bit of movement among women. I do think the 18 to 24 range, if a lot of them are Republican or conservative, then it's a lot of young men who by and large have been told every day since they were born to sit down, to shut up, that they've had their day in American history, and that it was somebody else's time to rise. This is what equity has done to a generation of young men. They don't believe that they can find a job that will allow them to buy a house. They don't believe that they can find a wife to marry and have children. And in a poll that was a poll from last year, identifying what were the most important traits for an individual, young men answered in the top 3 or 4, getting married, having a family, providing for that family, buying a house. It was at the very bottom of the answers for women. So I do think there's going to be a split. More young men will be conservative. More young women, for a little bit, will be progressive or liberal, and that's going to have to reconcile for that generation to produce the next generation.
And just so folks know, in case you don't, 1997 to 2012 is the years that Gen Z were born, and so one of the other things that I think perhaps is worthy of a discussion is this is the first generation to be completely and totally immersed in the digital age. They call them digital natives. And so my thought is that this is the first generation that has never really been beholden to, or their only information source was the mainstream media. And I think that's also part of this, because previous generations were sold the mainstream media, which is traditionally, of course, basically manipulated or owned by the Democrats.
Well, yeah, this is an excellent point, Dan, and I kind of straddled this. I had to log on to the internet with AOL, and the people who came after me, these 18 to 25-year-olds, have always had access to what I call information anarchy. They decide what they want to see, and then the algorithm provides them more of what they want to see, rather than watching, the national news. You get 3 or 4 or 5 in the 90s, 6, 7, 8 options. There are an unlimited number of options, and they're intertwining news and information and culture. And when that culture resonates, the other information that could be political or could be it is political in nature seeps into their thought process. So it's a very different news consumption. Even, we're even talking about this at work at Leadership Institute. How do we identify prospective interns for the spring or the summer or the fall next year? And we are having to identify new ways to connect with 18 to 21-year-olds because they're just not consuming or finding information the way the previous generations have.
And that technology is rapidly improving or evolving. More with Matthew Hurt is coming up, 6:45. Time to check the roads on WTN.
Centennial Boulevard, an accident at Riley Parkway with emergency crews on the scene, and Bell Road, there's an accident at Blue Holt Road. I'm Christy O'Brien.
As far as your weather goes, plenty of sunshine today. Dress warmly for trick-or-treating, of course, a high of 60, feeling 59. The gets dark time, sunset, 5:55 tonight. And that is when you can start your trick-or-treating. Matthew, let me ask you this. When we talk about the things that young adults are dealing with these days, I think that, and I jotted down a few of them. You had some good ones, very good ones as well, of course. But they were sold a bill of goods when it comes to a college education and its value. They've seen firsthand the impact of illegal immigration in our country while they were being lied to by the Biden administration. They had to deal with Biden's economy, of course, which was awful. And they've all seen the crime going on in these cities as well. And so as the Democrats will tell you everything's fine, the border is secure, and the rest of that nonsense, and, oh, yeah, this college diploma will do wonders for you in the job market, I think that they've realized that they've been lied to.
Well, and not only that, it goes even further. I speak to a high school Turning Point group once a month in Arlington, Deep Blue Arlington, and it is a mostly young women group. It's about 16 young people. They're mostly women. And the first time I spoke to them earlier this semester, earlier in the fall, all the women said, all the young girls said, we're concerned about men in our bathrooms. The young men have expressed a sense of desolation or despair on what they're going to do after high school. My parents want me to go to college. I don't think that's the pathway for me. There's so many of these things. And then if you zoom out just a few years, and a lot of your listeners may not even realize how bad it was or remember how bad it was, but the COVID lockdowns cut off social development or people who are still graduating college. There was a period of time, if they were in middle school to early college in 2020, 2021, and even 2022, there was an isolation that was forced on them that was anti-science, and now they're generally skeptical of experts. And I think that's a healthy skepticism, but it not only did it cause skepticism, but it caused a social stunting of their personalities and of their development.
Yeah, they didn't get to do prom, and they again, as you say, they were locked down and things were canceled. After school activities were canceled. I mean, we all, I mean, I'm obviously well out of high school, but I mean, that is something that they really did have to deal with. I want to play for you, and you folks on Super Talk TV can see this, but Matthew, I don't know if you've seen this yet. You know, we've got a congressional race going on here in Middle Tennessee in the 7th Congressional District, Afton Bain versus Matt Van Epps. He has launched what I believe now is the first commercial to promote, of course, his campaign. And as you define your opponent, which is what you're supposed to do in politics, this is his commercial regarding Afton Bain.
I'm Matt Van Epps. I approved this message.
Meet woke liberal Afton Bain.
This is great. We've got our girl squad and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Afton Bain, so woke she thinks it's a win to harass police.
This is great. We've got our girl squad and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Woke liberal Afton Bain. When she wins, we lose.
Now, it's so funny. We were talking earlier about this ad, Matthew, and I said, you know what? This is a great commercial for conservatives. You know what the stunning thing is? I could see Afton Bain using this same video, this same audio to promote her campaign because the left loves that she was out there harassing and trying to dox ICE agents.
You know, conservatives oppose it, and the left loves it. But where do the people in the middle fall? And I think most reasonable people who don't consider themselves ideologues think that harassing law enforcement is a bad idea. Most people say, and I hear it all the time, if you know, an interaction with law enforcement, if you've done nothing wrong, is okay. And I again, they're challenging these norms of behavior, interacting with people in public, causing disturbances, and most people just think it's not appropriate, or it's a turnoff, or it is a net negative. So if that ad sounds great for a conservative audience and those independents who you have to swing in a lot of districts to get across the finish line.
How worried are you? I don't know how much money they're putting into the 7th on the Democrat side, but, you know, we got Jasmine Crockett, and they're going to do what they're calling a town hall, but it's really not a town hall. You have to, you know, be approved, I guess, to go in. It's behind closed doors. That sounds to me like it's more of a fundraiser. But how much money do you think the Democrats are putting into the 7th? And is there a realistic chance? And I say this with caution because people have to absolutely, if you're in the 7th and you're conservative, you absolutely have to go out and vote no matter what. Do not get complacent. But how much money do you think the left is putting into the 7th? And do you think there is a realistic chance that this could possibly flip?
It's hard to tell how much money they're going to put in. This is what Cook Political calls an R+10 district. We're in the safe zone. These go from D+26 or 36 to R+36. This is not a swing district. However, in a special election setting, the left could theoretically swamp or bring out enough voters to change the outcome. What Democrats have to look at is, what is the generic ballot in the midterm in 2026? Can they afford to spend $6, $8, $10 million in this race at the expense of close races in R+1 or R+4 districts in 2026? I don't think they're going to make that gamble on an R+10. If this was an R+5 district or an R+3 district, it would make a lot more sense for them to spend money, because then if the Democrat won, the narrative going into the midterms would be that Donald Trump's agenda is not popular, and they would carry that all the way through 2026.
Donald Trump is out there talking about how the Republicans need to end the filibuster. Is that a good idea or not?
I don't know if that's a good idea. The filibuster is great when you're trying to stop easy things that would be awful. I haven't thought much about it this morning, and so I don't have a clear opinion.
I think it's an awful idea, and I'm going to tell you why, and you just hit on it. Because there's going to come a time where we don't control the Senate. There's going to come a time when we don't control the White House and we don't control the House of Representatives. So you don't throw down that nuclear option because you are just opening the door. Now, here's the question, is that the Democrats might do it anyway when they have the opportunity, regardless of what we do.
Well, that's a great point, Dan, and your argument is excellent in the sense that the Senate was never set up as a direct democracy entity anyway. If we have direct democracy, that is mob rule, and we have found, again, I mentioned norms of behavior earlier, things that people do in polite company. Republicans tend to follow the rules in social settings, but also in legislative bodies, and Democrats are much more willing to upend or end those rules when they get power. And so this is something where this mechanism, the filibuster, works the way it is supposed to work. Republicans respect that, and Democrats don't, and we could see a situation where they eliminate it.
Turn on the mic, Mandis. All right, thank you very much, Matthew Hurt, joining us on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Maybe you need a candy infusion now. Like, that might help.
Do you know
it might make him crash, though. Too much sugar on the front end.
Listen, I'll take a Reese's peanut butter cup if anybody's got one. You got any?
The goat of candies.
Huh? You don't have candy?
I said the goat of candies.
The goat, yes. Well, you heard Matthew Hurt. Although he called them Reese's Cups.
I mean, yeah, that's the formal name. If you're
going
to steal,
formal name. The formal name is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Sure.
That's the formal name. He called them Reese's Cups.
I agree. If you're stealing candy from kids, it should be that.
Whatever. The problem with where he lives in a high-rise is there's no kids to steal candy from. That's the problem.
Well,
you could always go out into the burbs.
Absolutely.
Matthew, if you're still listening, if you're going to go steal candy, go to one of the Democrat neighborhoods around you, because that's really all that you're
DC,
surrounded
right?
by. Yeah, he's in.
So he needs to go to Arlington.
He is in Arlington.
Okay,
he's in Arlington.
He's in the perfect place.
Yeah, so just go out, club a kid over the head.
Well, they have a mask on. The kids usually have a mask, so they won't see your foot when it comes out to kick the feet out from under them.
Okay, just so we're clear, neither one of us is actually advocating clubbing children over the head for candy.
Or tripping them.
No, that was Sam. Hey, Joan, what's coming up in the news?
Federal funds for SNAP benefits ends at midnight, so where to go if you'd like to help. Also, the Sunder County Library Board voted on transgender books last night. We're going to tell you how that ended. Those stories and more coming up at 7 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 6:55. Dan Mandis here. The weather in Middle Tennessee, it can turn quickly. It can get crazy, which is why you need a backup home standby generator from my friends at the Generator Supercenter. They are the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer, so you can get a free quote and get peace of mind when you have one installed. The Generator Supercenter, they do feature expert installation, 24-hour monitoring. They're not going to leave you in the dark, and yes, financing is available. Call them, tell them Dan told you to reach out. 615-879-1952. When the power is out in your neighborhood, the Generator Supercenter is going to keep your power on. Find them online. It is GeneratorSuperCenterofNashville.com. GeneratorSuperCenterofNashville.com.
Good morning, 7 o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. For drivers, watch it in Murfreesboro. I-840 southbound side past Sulphur Springs Road. There's a crash in the median, and it's slowing traffic down there. In the news, looks like President Trump's patience has maxed out over the federal government shutdown. He's pressing Senate Republican leaders now to make a big change and be done with it.
This morning, President Trump is calling on Republicans to change the rules in the Senate to reopen the government. Trump posting overnight, it is now time for the Republicans to play their Trump card and go for what is called the nuclear option. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now. The move would allow Republicans to pass a bill to fund the government with a simple majority instead of the 60 votes currently needed.
ABC's Nicole D'Antonio, Senate Majority Leader John Thune already warning against getting rid of the filibuster, arguing it could harm Republicans if Democrats regain the majority. Governor Bill Lee's office has established a website to help Tennesseans whose SNAP benefits run out tomorrow if the government shutdown continues. Feedtn.org will help users find food banks near them. You can also find a place that needs help with packing, delivering, and distributing food. Now, I've put a link to that site on my X account. You can find me there at Joan Jones WTN. 10,000 Nashville families are relying on energy assistance programs every winter to heat their homes. But if this government shutdown doesn't end by Saturday, that money isn't going to be there. This is Lisa McCready-Beverly at Metro Action Commission. She spoke to Channel 4.
It wasn't ever designed to be a crisis program, but it was designed to be a program that helps you to maintain your home safely and to make sure that it's cooled and heated properly. And so when funds are not existing, when we heard that we are not getting the allotment that we were expecting beginning Monday, that is concerning to us.
She says utility payment assistance will be limited to crisis cases only, and emergency programs like rent, mortgage, and prescription aid may be scaled back. In Sumner County last night, the library board fell short of a vote to stop stocking library shelves with books promoting transgenderism. The vote ended in a 4-4 tie. There was a public comment period before the vote.
I would rather live in a county where I can explain to my children that there are people who feel differently about gender or sex, and we accept them, than to live in a county where I have to explain to my children that we are actively marginalizing and repressing them.
Now, that was just one person that the Tennessean chose to feature on their website, but more than half the speakers supported removing transgender books. This is not the end of this issue. It could come back for another vote during a future board meeting.
What kind of a board only has 8 people on it? Like they need one more member to break ties.
It's a silly notion that there's 8 people. You're right. You're absolutely right.
This is the one where
Riley Gaines is on.
Riley Gaines is on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can I just say that Riley Gaines, her vote should count as 2?
Yes.
Because she's Riley
Dan.
Gaines, doggone it.
I like that idea.
All right, moving on.
Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. And stock futures here this morning on the plus side. Now, the Dow futures are up 75, but the NASDAQ futures, they're gaining 343 points. S&P futures are up 54. That's the latest news. Stick around for traffic and weather. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. So we have that problem this morning in Murfreesboro on I-840 southbound lanes past Sulphur Springs Road, exit 57. It's in the median. Watch it there. In Bordeaux, Centennial Boulevard at Briley Parkway, an accident. And then one in Edge Hill on 12th Avenue South at Edge Hill Avenue. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.707 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I've been well danned by not one, but two super texters.
Nice.
And my comment about the filibuster and should the Senate get rid of the filibuster so that they can pass the CR. And that's fine. Listen, I can be wrong or they can be wrong. Whatever. My opinion is no, Donald Trump, you don't get rid of the filibuster because that does set that precedent. Although, because I love arguing with myself, although the Democrats might just do it anyway when they have the majority in the Senate. Sherry says, and Sherry is a member of the Red Pilled Moms Club. Well, Dan, we should get rid of the filibuster now so that we can pass our clean CR. And then we need to come back to the table when we are in control of everything and have a good super majority control. And then we can put the filibuster in as law. So that way the Democrats cannot remove the filibuster. Well, you're making the assumptions that at some point we're going to have a really good super majority. And I just don't know if that's ever going to happen. I think the better argument against, the Democrats, I should say the Republicans, not doing the filibuster is the fact that the Democrats would probably do it anyway if they were in control right now in the Senate to get something passed. I think that they would, because at this point, the Democrats have lost their ever-loving minds. Everybody knows that. So they've lost all decorum. I mean, their main political argument is that Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler. I mean, when that's where you go, then ending the filibuster is, pretty tame, comparatively speaking. So I don't know. Maybe Sherry has a decent point. Maybe, she's a female. Sherry has a good point, which is, all right, you know what? And I think I've got a good point, too, which is the Democrats, even if the Republicans don't do it right now, when the Democrats have the opportunity, they probably would. Go ahead and cancel the filibuster to usurp the Republicans. I'm going to ask Scott Desjardins about all of that and a whole lot more coming up at 7:35 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, the Get Start time tonight is 5:55. That's when the sun will be setting. So if you're ready to get out and trick or treat tonight, that is the best time.